Hi there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All, educational videos channel. We are continuing with learning Scratch, we are continuing with Scratch tutorials, and in this video we are going to try to learn how and when to use Scratch block, which is named change Y by. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see this block in action. And so far we have, in few last videos, we have explained a couple of motion blocks. The block which we are going to learn today, set change Y, is also one of the motion blocks, the blue ones, and drag and drop it to the cat character for start. But before that, let's go on shortly once again on coordinate system, although I have explained it earlier in a couple of videos and in one single video, which is called what is coordinate system in Scratch. But just to do it once again very short and precise, and maybe it will be even more clear to you this way. If you, for example, if you watch the below the stage, there are two fields X and Y. I will zoom them now with Ctrl plus just to see them better. Yeah, X is minus 179 and Y is minus 105. For my cat character, for my game, maybe for your it's kind of different, but what I want to show here is that if you look to the left of the X field, there is some kind of two-headed, two-pointed arrow which shows to the left and to the right, and if you look at the Y field and left to it, there is also again some other two-headed, two-pointed arrow which points to the top and to the bottom. And this is exactly what everything you have to remember or learn about the X and Y coordinates. If it's easier for you this way, just remember that X means to the left and to the right, and Y means to the top and to the bottom. So if you want something to move, some character, some enemy, some whatever image you want, whatever sprite you want to move on the stage in Scratch, remember that X means go to the left or to the right. So if I want to move the character to the left or to the right, I will have to change my X position, and if I want to move my character to the top or to the bottom, up or below, I will have to change the Y coordinate. So that's the whole idea, that's the whole logic behind it. This way it was really simple and easy to remember, I hope so. So let's see that in action. So far I can move the cat on the stage by pressing left and right arrow, and cat will move to the left and to the right, and we have defined that here by move blocks, one of the motion blocks, which is the first one, move. And we said if I want to move to the right, then do that when the right arrow is pressed, key is pressed, and if I want to move to the left, that means I have to put the minus sign in front of the 10, and then when pressing the left arrow key, cat will move to the left. That's it for the left and the right. And as we just said, that means that those coordinates are X coordinates. And for the Y, let's see now for the Y. And why should I use the Y? Well, for example, if you want to make the cat move up and down, for some games it is used, like, I don't know, Pac-Man, old Zelda, first Zelda and so on, some maze games and so on, where top-down shooters and so on. You have to move to the left and to the right, but also you have to move to the top and to the bottom, up and down, left and right. So far our cat can move only to the left and right, and now I wanted to make this cat moved up and down. How are we going to do that? Well, that's where this change Y block comes in handy, and if I click on it just to see what will happen, great. This is doing exactly what I want, and that's moving the cat to the up. I will press the green flag to reset it to the starting position, and now I want to define this better and use this block inside of some bigger block, and I want to attach it to link it to some key. We have used right arrow to go to the right and left arrow to go to the left, so there is common sense to use top arrow to go to the top and bottom arrow, down arrow to go to the bottom to down. So go to the events blocks and find when space key pressed, then change space into up arrow and attach this change Y by 10. Now let's start the game and see if it works. Great. So now cat can even skip the acid and the lava, and that's really great. That makes our game even more complex and interesting to play. But as we have seen, we haven't defined yet how to move to the down. Let's copy this whole block. So right click on this new made block, click on duplicate and drag and drop it below, and instead of using up arrow, let's change it to down arrow. And we have to change one more thing here, and that's I hope you can already guess what that is. If you remember, this right arrow was moving to 10 steps to the right and left arrow was moving minus 10 steps to the left. Why is that? Well, if you remember this, I will now pick stage and I will now pick X and Y grid backdrop for background. So why are we using minus, and I will hide the cat for a second. So why are we using minus for the left and for the bottom? I hope that all of that makes sense now. We have talked about it earlier, but it wasn't so obvious as we can use and see coordinate system in practice. So just look at this coordinate system on your screen and see where are the minus signs, where are the minus numbers, negative numbers. They are to the left of the X, right? There is minus 200, minus 100, so that's why we are using this minus when we want to go to the left, and same applies for the y-axis. Now we want to move the cat up and down, so I watched the y-axis, the blue one, and I watched the numbers on it. So numbers go from 0 at the middle of the stage, and if I go to the up, they go to 100, then I go more to 180. So those are positive numbers, cool. And if I want to go to the bottom, they go from 0 to minus 100 and minus 180. So those are negative numbers, minus numbers. So again, if I want to go down, because my coordinate system says those are the negative numbers, I will have to use that here also, that rule here also on my change Y block. So let's see this in action. Let's first select stage, backdrop, level start to reset it back to the blank space, and then let's go to the cat show, and then let's finally start our game. Okay, now when I press the up, the cat goes up. When I press the down, the cat goes down. When I press the right, cat goes right. When I press the left, the cat goes left. So this is so cool and so nice, and everything works great now. So I can avoid now acid and lava with going up and down if I want, or whatever you like. What can we do else here? For example, if I press up and down, you can see that cat is going up and down, which is great, but the cat is not moving her legs. Again, the same problem as we had here with the right and left. We have solved that problem by what? By adding this next costume block. If you remember that, if not, go back to that video and look that video again. I will now just copy it twice and snap it below the change y by, sorry, and that's it. Let's reset it and try it, and now the cat should move legs going up and down and left and right, and it looks great. I mean, it's not really great, but it looks good enough for Scratch games. For some of more complex game and more decent polished games, you would probably need to make different costumes of cat. For example, when it goes up, her head should turn around and her body should turn around looking up. Same with going down. When cat goes down, she should not be walking the same way that she walks to the left and to the right, but so far it looks good enough, as I said, for Scratch games and for simple games, and for more complex you do your own graphic art and do your own sprites. That's it for this lesson. Maybe some of you are confused now. Why did we use here change Y and for the top and bottom, and we have used some other block like move for left and right. So we are using the first block move for left and right, and we are using this change Y by for the top and bottom. So maybe this is confusing some of you, and you are asking now, why are we not using the change X instead of move? And we are going to explain that in some of the later videos, because change X and move blocks, they don't behave the same, exactly the same. They're very similar, but they don't behave exactly the same. If they would behave exactly the same, then the Scratch programs would not put them in. So don't worry about that. So for now, just try to improve your games by adding some new features and new mechanics by using the stuff and the blocks which we have learned so far. And in the meantime, I will try to make new videos, and we should learn new blocks soon, I hope. Okay, that's it for this video. Bye for now, and I hope I see you soon in next.